What did the very first home look like? Not an apartment, not a house, not even a village, just a simple shelter built by someone who saw a chunk of land and said, "Yeah, I'm not walking anymore. This is the place." This is the story of the first houses and how they changed everything. For most of human history, we were nomads and everyone was a homeless, dirty hippie. If only they realized all they had to do was get a job. Those lazy bums. Constantly moving and following animals and searching for food. We slept wherever we could survive the night. Pretty much just like the first time you ever played Minecraft, except if you messed up, you didn't respawn. So hardcore. So the idea of building something permanent, that was revolutionary. But before permanent homes came something simpler. Something temporary that could be built and abandoned when it was time to move on to greener pastures. Imagine standing in an open landscape thousands of years ago. Night is coming, it's cold, and there are predators nearby. You need shelter fast, and your only option is to build with whatever junk you have on hand. Branches, bones, grass, animal hides, and even just dirt could help. So basically, the original DIY home improvement show, but with significantly higher stakes. Well, actually, probably no stakes, since cows weren't domesticated until around 10,000 years ago. The people back then built simple lean tos, windbreaks, and possibly even small dome shaped huts if they had the time. These weren't homes, just simple survival tools to make it to tomorrow. Quick to build and easy to leave behind. Because at this point, humans were still moving constantly. Your house wasn't a place, it was just something you used until it was time to pack up and say, well, the rent's just too damn high now. Then something changed. Humans began to experiment with staying in one place longer. Maybe there was a reliable water source, maybe food was easier to find, or someone finally figured out how to use seeds. Or maybe someone just said, I'm not rebuilding that hut again tomorrow. And when you stay longer, you can build differently. You can make shelters stronger, more stable, and more importantly, comfortable. Instead of something you could throw together in an hour, you started building something that could last months or even years. This was the beginning of a huge shift, from temporary to a home. The first true houses were simple, but they were a massive leap forward. Many were built partially underground. Why would you do that, you may ask? Well, I was getting to that, Stephen. Because the Earth itself provided insulation, keeping the inside warmer in winter and cooler in summer. Basically, the first version of climate control. And the best part? No electricity bill required. Walls could be made of mud, packed earth, stone, and wood frames covered in clay. Roofs were often thatched with grass or reeds. Not beautiful, but hey, neither were most of us back then. Side note, soap wouldn't be invented for many thousands of years, so yeah, good times. And the inside, you ask? Even though I know you can't actually hear me, who do you think I am? Dora the Explorer? Well, the insides were just one room in most cases. A fire pit in the center, maybe a place to sleep along the walls. No bedrooms, no bathrooms, no open concept, just concept. That's it. It worked for their needs, and typically it was a communal space built by a group and used by the group. But for the first time ever, this space wasn't just for survival, it was yours. Or, well, ours. Now imagine living in one of these early houses. The air smells like smoke from the fire, light flickers against the walls. Outside, the world is still wild and unpredictable. But inside, there's a sense of control, a sense of safety and community. This is where families gathered, where food was prepared, where stories were told. And probably where someone always sat too close to the fire and hogged all the warmth. There is always one. For the first time, humans weren't just surviving the environment, they were shaping it and changing it. The jury is still out if this is for the better or not, though I'm sure we'll have the verdict in any day now. Houses didn't just give people shelter, they changed how humans lived and how we saw the world. When you stay in one place, it builds a community and allows you to plan for the future. Also means you finally know where you left your stuff. Well, you hope you remember anyway. And slowly houses began to cluster together. A few homes became a settlement, settlements became villages, villages became something even bigger. But it all started here, with one simple idea. What if we stayed this time? Probably one of the most important and laziest ideas humans have ever had. Darn kids and their need to always make life easier. The first houses were small, simple, and fragile, but they marked one of the biggest turning points in human history because the moment we built a home, we stopped just living in the world and started building one of our own. That's all for today, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out with the channel. And to show my appreciation, here's a rare image of a baby axolotl. Also, I've added all of my sources in the description below, along with the link to the book that I've written as well if you want to check that out. As always, thank you all for watching.